We start in the US, where President Biden has pardoned his son Hunter, despite previously saying he would not interfere with the Justice Department's decisions. Hunter Biden was convicted earlier this year of illegally buying a gun and lying about his drug use, as well as tax evasion. The president described the prosecution as unfair and a result of pressure from his political opponents. Hunter Biden said mistakes he made in his darkest days of addiction had been exploited to humiliate his family. Donald Trump has called the pardon an abuse and a miscarriage of justice. Daniel Lippman is Politico's White House reporter. He explained why President Biden took this decision to pardon his son now.
The White House and Biden himself had been insistent for years that he would never intervene, but his kind of duties as a father has outridden that. And he did not want his son to go to jail in these two cases, one a gun charge, one a tax evasion charge. And so I think that it will be interesting to see the reaction from Republicans and Democrats. He is a lame duck president, and so he was going to have to do this one way or another in the eyes of family members. But this is shocking news in Washington at the end of his term. They have previously said they would respect the jury's verdict, that this is not a kangaroo court, that they would that the prosecutors, including David Weiss, who was appointed by former President Trump, they had to prove evidence. And so you can say it's selective prosecution, but no one is saying that Hunter Biden did not commit these crimes. And so what basically he's saying is he's echoing arguments that President Trump has made, that the charges against Trump and Trump associates are politically motivated. And so both sides are kind of resorting to what they consider political lawfare against their opponents. And so I think that Biden, he did not want to face the next few years having his son languish in prison when he had the ultimate power to make those charges go away. And so, in his statement, he said that he was wiping away any charges and any crimes that his son had done, to December 1st. And so he could have committed a crime last week, and he still would have been washed away.
That was Daniel Lippman, who is Politico's White House reporter. Let's speak to Professor of History at Dickinson State University, North Dakota, and Mike Cullinan. Morning to you, or wherever you are. What time is it where you are? Late? Early?
It's morning. I'm in Ireland, so it's the same time.
Great. Just take us through this. President Biden could not have been more explicit that this pardon was not going to happen, and yet here we are.
Yeah, that's right. I think this is incredible. I mean, we do see these kind of controversial pardons in the late stages of a lame duck presidency like Biden's is now. I think the thing about this is that he's almost adopting Trumpian tactics, which is something that I said might start to happen after this election because it was such a convincing victory from Donald Trump, at least in terms of winning all of the houses of Congress and the White House. I think this is something that Trump would have done. In fact, something that Trump did do. He pardoned Jared Kushner's father. And so what I would say is different about this, however, is that it's really sweeping. Even Trump's pardons were quite specific and targeted. This is like a blanket. It covers everything. And Hunter Biden really is going to be able to walk away from his father's presidency knowing that he's not going to be hunted by a Trump prosecutor in the future.
Should we be surprised that this happened?
I think yes and no. I think we should be surprised in the sense that Joe Biden had said that he was a more responsible candidate, one that followed the rules of law. I mean, he hasn't really respected the jury verdict here. He hasn't really respected the findings of the courts. And so I think that is a change for him. But should we be surprised? Probably not. I mean, this is the way things are going now. The political norms in America are being eroded on a nearly weekly basis. We've seen this over the last 8 years. And so in that way, I think this is par for the course now. And we're going to see more of this. I think whether we see Trump do some day one activities that he spoke of during the election campaign, or whether we see him also take some decisions to pardon people, this could be part of the new norm.
And how concerned should people be that this will be seen as yet another way that that justice and the right thing to do is being undermined in US politics?
Right. I mean, I think people should be alarmed about this. This is an alarming time. I mean, democracy is something that the electorate knew was on the ballot, and they voted anyway for Donald Trump. I think that they should be worried about the state of democracy in America. I think we all should be worried about it globally, in fact, not just in the United States, because so much that happens in the U.S. has reverberations around the world. So other leaders around the world watch what American leaders do, and they might be tempted as well to follow in the footsteps of Biden and Trump, whether it's in pardoning people or ignoring the prosecutors like Jack Smith, who's dropped all charges against Trump now. It's an important thing, and I think what Joe Biden has done today is shown that the Democrats are as likely to follow their own rules and march to the beat of their own drum as the Republicans are.
Professor of History at Dickinson State University, North Dakota, Mike Cullinan, thank you for joining us.